No, you guys, I'm not auditioning for a role on Broadway as Elphaba. Actually, I'm dressed as Elphaba today because it is Brand.bar's second year anniversary, and we're having our special Halloween show, and Mr. Richard Lau from NamesCon is our guest today. I've asked our audience to come dressed in costume because the best one will win a free ticket to NamesCon 2017. So, want to see what happened? Well, tune in.
Serious about online trading? Secure your funds, keep your merchandise safe, and use a company that keeps both the buyer and seller protected the whole way through. That's escrow.com. Payments you can trust.
Okay, everybody, welcome to the Brand.bar Happy Hour Chat, our anniversary Halloween edition. Thank you so much, Richard, for joining us.
I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry I'm not in costume, but I'm sure everyone is as equally impressed as I am with yours.
Well, like I told you earlier, the real scream is going to be when my husband sees all the green makeup all over the place. Now that's the real terror this Halloween. So, Richard, you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I've been in the domain industry since about 1996, and I started with one of the first registrars, so one of the first 30 registrars that was that kind of accredited. That was back in 1999, 2000. And since then, I've worked with dozens of registrars, setting them up, consulting, and then I became a domain investor about in the early 2000s and haven't looked back. And then 4 years ago, started NamesCon, which that's my costume.
Yes, you've been busy ever since.
So we've quickly gone from 500 to 900 attendees to 1,200 this past January. And we're expecting about 1,400 people this January.
Wow.
Biggest show ever.
My goodness. So it just keeps getting bigger. Well, that's a good thing. That means that NamesCon is definitely a success. Now, let me jump in for time's sake. Let me jump into some of these questions that myself and also some of our audience had submitted in advance to ask you. I'm going to start with, just for anyone who is unfamiliar with NamesCon, haven't attended, or brand new to the domain space, thinking about jumping into the domain space so they don't know anything about it, why don't you, if you can, tell us a little bit about what that conference is?
So the NamesCon conference is an industry-wide show, so it covers everything from registrars, registries, domain investors, all the ancillary services such as domain parking, website building. We have Wix attending, we have weekly exhibiting and on panels, and we have all the industry titans such as French showing, keynoting, and what's different. I can list all the people, but what's really different, what we bring to the table at NamesCon is we make it affordable. So that everyone can attend, and we can then get that critical mass of enough of the industry attending that if you want to meet someone, chances are they're going to be at NamesCon. The other conferences, including ICANN, is hit and miss. I'm going to India less than a week from now, and I don't know who's going, but you can pretty much assume that everyone's going to NamesCon. And so we've done that. And we focus on networking. So anyone is approachable, and it's a very casual environment. You can see I'm in a t-shirt.
Yeah.
This is our uniform at NamesCon. Keep things casual, keep everyone approachable. At the end of every session, you can approach the stage and speak with speakers. So it's one of the great things about this industry is that we're all friendly competitors, and so it's a great place to learn and meet everyone. So if you're new, this is the show it comes to. And if you're an industry titan, then you know you're going to be there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so moving on to an audience submitted question. And this is a really good one. So I put it right at the top. So it was recently reported that NamesCon was acquired by WHDS. Can you tell us a little bit about that? What prompted the sale? How will the sale impact NamesCon's brand, and how will it impact WHD's brand? Okay, so that's a lot, but I'm sure you can tackle that.
That's a mouthful. Okay, so yes, it's true that WHD, which is World Hosting Days, based in Germany, has acquired NamesCon, and to me, my day-to-day has not changed. So my focus, when the team here, we're basically in Vancouver, Canada, and the team here, we've got an office, we're a machine that operates all year to plan these 4 days in Las Vegas. And really nothing has changed from our side. We've got additional help from the marketing side. We've got additional help on some personnel and feedback, especially on the speaker outreach. But in terms of how we operate, it's business as usual. And so we have a plan all the way through 2019. We're booked at the Tropicana. We have growth every year. The feel and the culture of NamesCon is very similar to WHD. I don't know if you've been to a WHD Global or WHD USA show.
I haven't yet.
But they have that same positivity that we bring, that we feel we bring to the main industry conferences. And so that was what attracted the WHD to NamesCon. And so, NamesCon was approached by WHD. They liked what we were doing. And in the conference space, generally you vertically integrate, or you expand in terms of the number of conferences. Mm-hmm. It's a very razor-thin margin profitability business. So I do it out of the love of my heart. It would be a tough gig to try and make a living at NamesCon, but we love it. Terry and I and Julien and Jonathan, we pour our heart and soul into this show, and you can see it. We've grown every year, and now it's no longer the Richard and Jonathan show.
Yeah.
It's NamesCon. It's its own entity, and it's a beautiful thing to kind of see your child grow up. And so it's not impacting the NamesCon brand whatsoever. You can see that the narrative, it doesn't say WHD and NamesCon. We are at NamesCon, and it's really just they've given us additional resources to go out and make this the best domain conference ever.
Okay, so the brands are still going to stay separate, but they're still both equal in the regards that they're really laid back conferences. And are they both equally as affordable?
Yes, WHD actually takes a different approach. They have even lower ticket prices, and they push their ticket sales and registrations through their sponsors. So their sponsors pay a bit more than they do at NamesCon. But they are able to do some, very low price tickets. But we were in the playground of the U.S., right? We were in Las Vegas, and they're in the playground of Germany. They're actually at a theme park. In Germany. But the WHD is focused more on web hosting, and we're focused on domain names. And so, WHD USA will actually be in Las Vegas as well, but obviously at a different time of year, than January. And we're looking forward to being able to work together, but still be very distinctively apart.
That's good. Okay, so you mentioned earlier when you were talking about this that NamesCon was sort of your baby. So the next question is basically about, after having created something, built or birthed a baby, created this beautiful conference, one that everyone loves, this brand that everyone is now familiar with, and deciding to go ahead and, take the offer, sell it, what kind of advice could you give another entrepreneur who might be thinking about selling their business or their brand, any tips, any things they should watch out for, any highlights, anything like that?
So I would highly recommend any entrepreneur who, there's two types of entrepreneurs. There's the entrepreneur that owns a franchise and really you own your own job, or you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to leverage assets to get away from exchanging time for money. Okay, and so the most important book that I ever read, I think, was The E-Myth. And, it's had various different versions come out, but that to me, there's so many things in there that every entrepreneur should embody, and that's wanting to write yourself out of your own job. So whatever role you're doing, you should be able to replace yourself. Otherwise, you're just in a job, you're not operating a business. And so that's why, even though NamesCon is my baby, the best day is when it can walk on its own. And so, Terry and Shalom do most of the work behind the scenes. I get to come on camera and take some credit, but the sponsors and any attendees that have issues, you're going to be dealing with Terry and Shalom, and you'll find that they're actually far more organized than I am. But when you're looking at your baby, you can't be so emotionally attached to it that you cripple it, right? Because in order for a business to expand, it's going to expand beyond the skills and resources that I can bring personally to it. So then you need to bring in a team, and so that's your first step, because you're not doing the day-to-day yourself, you're actually delegating it to others. And then the second is, are you able to actually step away completely and have someone else run it? Because that is the true sign of success. If you can take a business from the start, from an idea, from the back of the napkin, to the point where someone else is actually running it successfully, that means that you have been a successful entrepreneur. You do that multiple times, and then you're a serial entrepreneur.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's what I strive for.
Yeah. Once you're able to walk away, then you leave room for starting another business. So you're right. Then you become a serial entrepreneur. So here's my next question: is there any major differences that we're going to see at this upcoming NamesCon in January now that WHD is on board? Or, is it going to be pretty much the same?
Yeah, so, the formula we have works really, really well. We're entering our fourth year, and it's not that we're looking back at 3 years of, what did we do right and wrong in 3 years? What we all bring to the table is, I personally attended over 60 conferences, and 30 of those were in Las Vegas. So, I just naturally know what works and what doesn't work. A lot of the ideas that are new and innovative at NamesCon are just ideas we transplanted from other conferences. And so, I would say the biggest difference, and this has absolutely nothing to do with WHD coming in, we sent out a survey after every conference, and we follow up on it. We read every single comment, we discuss it as a team, and we've decided that we're going to roll back the level of volume at the parties to make sure that people can converse, and we're also making sure that we have quiet areas, even outside of the music, for areas of the parties that people can quietly have conversation. And so that when we think about NamesCon, we've got content, we've got speakers, but networking is the main core of the benefit of attending NamesCon. And so at the evening parties, Sunday night is Red Side, Monday night University puts on a party at Pakistan. I can't control the level of light in there.
Well, that is a club.
Sunday night and Tuesday night at the Water Night, there will be quiet areas. So if you've come in the past and you're like, well, this sounds like a Las Vegas nightclub, which was our aim, we're going to dial that back just a bit, and there will be a quiet lounge inside, so you're not having to go outside into the cold air of January in Las Vegas. And so I think that would be I'd say the biggest change. The things that have worked, the network lane on Sunday, the multiple tracks, the keynote speakers, the panels, the fireside chats, the ping pong, the foosball.
Exactly.
That's all working, and we don't want to break that. And,
yeah.
The exhibit hall, this is what I think a lot of people are surprised at when they come to NamesCon, is that we treat our exhibit hall as a town hall. The main breakout sessions in the keynote hall all enter and exit off the exhibit hall. The exhibits are mostly around the outside edge, and we have the center being a place to hang out and a lounge. And so, unless you need to go to the bathroom or get some food, you should just be in the town hall. And that way you have easy access to all the sessions.
Oh, yeah. And, people, you meet so many more people just hanging out in the exhibit hall. We had, weren't there like 3 or 4 sofa areas, lounges right there?
Yes.
And then pool table, of course, and ping pong. So you can also challenge each other to a nice game and talk business over that. Only thing that there aren't going to be is any duels, which is good. So, no really major changes. That's good to hear. Really, if it ain't broke, that's what the saying is, right? If it ain't broke, there's no need to go trying to fix it. So, what can we expect in regards to content? Are we going to be seeing any panels or panelists from outside of the domain community?
Yes, we've actually got a couple, but we haven't announced them yet, so I'm gonna hold off on.
What? No surprises right here on the show?
Give me one. But what's also exciting for us as a big industry conference is that we're expanding the speaker engagement to be much more beyond what you already have seen at past conferences. So we're getting, one of my challenges to our team is to get people on stage that we haven't seen before, or that we've gotten such positive feedback. But we try and dig, and we talk to the speakers, and we really try and dig and get them to share their personal story. So that as attendees, we can connect with them, understand how they got to where they are, and then we can hear what their thoughts are on the future of the industry, or how to do things certain ways, or best practices. And so it's not just going up and doing an infomercial for your company's product.
Right.
We want to hear and connect with you. And so we're able to do that. We've got a couple of really good fireside chat interviews that haven't been done before, and we've got one that we're repeating, which we're very excited about. And so there's so much content and so many speakers on the board that the challenge is not to do too many at the same time. Mm-hmm. And we really go through and say, okay, if you were a registrar, which type of event, or which type of session would you attend? If you were a registry, which type of attend? And if you were doing an investor, what kind would you attend? We try not to have them overlap at the same time, so you don't have to clone yourself. Because that was actually a complaint, is that there were so many good sessions. How do I go?
How do you get to all of them? And it is hard sometimes when there's 2 great sessions at the same time, you're thinking, geez, which one? So that's good. I'm glad you guys are taking that into consideration. So what are you most looking forward to?
So Pros does a lot of videoing of our sessions, but they're unable to video them all. So I know that there comes up a lot of people who can't attend. Is will there be video available after? Well, there will be, but it will be at least 6 to 8 months after the show. Okay. And it won't be with every session.
Okay. Okay. Any live streams?
We'll see.
Yeah, still.
The internet access to the attendees is paramount, and so if there are any issues, then live streams will not happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We want to make sure we maintain a minimum level of connectivity. And it's been one of my pet peeves is that you go to a conference and you can't connect.
Right.
And so we work with Cox Cable, and we know that they've upgraded the system, and so we're eager to see what they've done.
That's great. So, what are you most looking forward to?
What am I most looking forward to?
Yes, drop one of those surprises on us.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a fireside chat with Elliot Moss from 2010. And, when I started back in 1998, setting up a registrar, Elliot was, and 2000 was the company that we used as our first back-end provider for Names Direct, which was our registrar. And so I'm excited to actually sit down one-on-one and go through, he's an interesting character. He's been in the industry. He's made a lot of changes all from 2000. You talk about people jumping around, but here Elliot is Mr. 2000. But he's also set up an incredibly successful phone company in the U.S. And he's Canadian, so he's based out of Toronto, and he's set up an incredibly. And so I'd like to dig into the mind and motivation, because he's just an incredibly intelligent guy, and whenever you hear him speaking, he's speaking about an ICANN meeting. You'll hear him speaking about policy, and he's very kind of like a statesman in terms of his outlook and wisdom. But I want to kind of dig behind that and get down to the person behind it. And I think it'll be a very, very insightful interview. So that's what I'm personally looking forward to, is doing that one-on-one with Elliot.
I'm looking forward to watching that. That's going to be good. And it's sometimes, one of the main things we as attendees want to kind of know what the key ingredients are. We're all there trying to be, successful at some point. And it's good to kind of get those insights from someone who's been there and done that over and over again, to be, exact. So what does the future of NamesCon look like? What are we going to be seeing in the next few years?
Gosh, well, we are booked in at the Tropicana, so what we have is stability. And so I think that that's been an issue with other domain conferences, but also with ICANN in terms of the ICANN meetings are changed format. And the difficulty with ICANN is you never know where it's going to be.
Right.
Whereas with NamesCon, we've already published our dates for 2018 and 2019, so you can plan around NamesCon. And you can just say, okay, well, the start of the year is going to be in January in Las Vegas. We moved NamesCon away from being right beside CES. We found logistically it was challenging both for ourselves, but also for the attendees that came in early. You couldn't get a cab, you couldn't get a restaurant reservation. So you'll notice that 2017, we ran January 22nd through 25th, which is the Sunday through Wednesday. And it's kind of the towards the end of January, it falls between Martin Luther King weekend and the Super Bowl. So that's the kind of time that we've picked in Las Vegas. And so that's something that you can then plan around and know, okay, well, right after my family weekend of Martin Luther King Day, then I'm off to Las Vegas.
Right.
So it's, and you'll be back in time for Super Bowl.
Exactly. You want to be home for that Super Bowl party. Okay, so what about you, Richard? What is next?
Well, as I said, I'm still working, neck deep with NamesCon, so I can't even think about what's next. I know that as I'm able to hand over more and more of the day-to-day to not only Terry but to WHD, that that will bring me up to the next big thing. I love the startup. I love taking something that's an idea and seeing if it has legs and creating a minimal viable product and then creating a commercial product. But I do have a short attention span of 3 to 5 years, and if you look at my past, I've done many different businesses, not all successful, but most successful exits, and it's an exciting time to look ahead. But probably taking 1 or 2 of the super ultra premium domains that we have in our inventory and developing it out. And I've got more ideas than I have time remaining on this earth, and so I'll have to try and pick the best one.
See, that's another show within itself. So I hope that you'll come back and we'll talk about that. Okay, so thank you so much for that. I really appreciate the fact that you've taken the time to come on, and you've been coming on with me since our show began, and I really appreciate that. On top of that, I also appreciate the NamesCon tickets that you have so generously sponsored our show with, and we have to give one of those away. Let's see if we have anybody in our audience right now who came dressed in costume. For those of you who are watching, we're supposed to be having a costume contest. So anyone who came to watch the show with us live, we do do these live. We record them and then we play them back for those who weren't able to come. But if you showed up and you are in your costume, we're going to judge the best one. I'll let Richard be the judge. Sorry, Richard. And then somebody will win a free ticket. Let's go. Let me open this up and see. Anyone out there in costume? I don't have anyone muted. So if you're in costume, speak up. And then we'll open up your camera and take a look.
I can imagine people running around right now, putting on a costume.
I know, they're like, I was almost finished. I thought I'd be done by the time. But look, I got up early this morning and I slathered green makeup all over my face. And my daughter did not want to have anything to do with me before she left the house.
You look amazing. I mean, it's like you walked off the stage of Wicked on Broadway.
I know. I really love that show. I really, really do. So no one.
I'm sorry. I don't have a costume, but I did have a question for Richard, if that's okay.
Sure.
I have kind of like a double-sided question. One is, what type of attendees do you see the most? Is it buyers, sellers, brokers, or companies that are selling their product for, just helping domainers or brokers? And then what is the best sponsorship option for a new sponsor to get their name out there and kind of get their brand in front of the buyers and the sellers and the brokers?
Really excellent question. So a lot of people assume that NamesCon is a domain show or domain investor show simply because that's been my past. But Jonathan Trace, who helps co-founded the show, he brings a completely different network to the conference, and so we have successfully created an industry-wide show. So when I say registrars, registries, Google had 50 people at NamesCon last year. Donuts had 40 people. Uniregistry had 35. So the registries and the registrars come out in full force. VeriSign is there in a big way. CentralNet, Affiliates, Affiliates has been our lanyard sponsor since day one. And they are actually a registry and a registrar now that they own one domain. But anyway, in terms of buyers and sellers, to me that's one category of domain investor. Generally, domain investors are bigger buyers than they are sellers. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to a domain buyer and asked them what their price is on a domain, and they're like, yeah, we're not selling it. Like, aren't you in the business of buying and selling? So I guess if you take it that way, there's more buyers than there are sellers. And in terms of what's the best way for a new company to get their product in and touch and get awareness out, hands down, it's Network Lane. So Network Lane is from noon until 6 p.m. on Sunday, which is the first day of the conference. And we set it up with high-top tables and a retractable banner for every single exhibitor. And so it's a pop-up exhibition hall. It's not in the exhibit hall. It's in a separate room that we are setting up on Sunday, that we set up just for Sunday. And then that's going to become the VeriSign Business Hub. And so what that is a very high energy, it's very busy because it's a crowded environment. We have about between 30 and 40 exhibitors in that one room. And it's kind of like speed dating because people will come through and they talk to you for a couple of minutes. And the idea isn't to sell them anything at that spot. The idea is to let people know, hey, I'm here all week. Let's set up a meeting, because by being at the Network Lane on Sunday, you don't have a booth in the exhibit hall, which is Monday through Wednesday. And so people are coming in, they see you, they express some interest, and then you can set up a meeting for later that week. And so that, to me, there are three things. If you want to take the advertising side, you want to hit people 3 times. So if you want to do one thing, it's Network Lane. If you want to do 3 things, which is the best way to get touch points, is Network Lane, conference guide ad, and a conference guide insert. So those 3 is the package. But if you could only do one thing, then I would pick Network Lane.
Awesome, thank you.
Great question, Renee. Does anyone else have a question? Okay. Well, then that means, Richard, we're going to let you go.
All right.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I cannot wait until January. For anyone else who's still with me, I just want to let you guys know that I do have another great sponsor of our Happy Hour show today, and that's the .bar registry. And they have sent some beautiful .bar. Can you see this? These are not shot glasses. These are rock glasses, and also .bar mugs. So everyone who's here today is going to get one of each of these. Send me your mailing or shipping address to swag@brand.bar. Okay, swag, SWAG at brand.bar. And I will send those your way. Thanks again, .bar. And thanks again, Richard. Also, I did the Network Lane last year, and I ended up sitting, my table was next to the .bar table. Thank you for that, because that's where I got them to give me the swag.
Right.
So networking is awesome in the Network Lanes. Okay.
Excellent.